I'm Ray.
I'm Candace.
Welcome to Unpacking Coffee this week.
Barkeater.
Of East Greenbush, New York.
So Barkeater is Stephen Pavanka. It's one person. This might be the most micro roaster we've ever covered.
Yeah, it's micro.
like micro.
My name is Stephen Pavanka, and I'm the owner and roaster at Barkeater Coffee Roasters. And I do all the roasting. We also do farmers markets, and we also do events.
This is seriously the one person out of the garage story. They're about 2 years old.
This is literally the only bag of coffee they've ever roasted.
So how does one person start a micro roaster?
I've been drinking coffee as long as I can remember. I think I probably was like 6 years old or something. It was kind of a culture in my household. I remember my grandmother, when I was a kid, she would make me like Cuban-style coffee. My family on my mother's side is Puerto Rican, so she would make me Cuban-style coffee or sock coffee. And I remember having it very, very young, and I've just always loved coffee. And one day I was just talking to my wife, and I just decided I wanted to do something, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to be a roaster. Here I am. I'm going to go do it. And I did.
So this is a truly roast-to-order roaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that?
I don't know what that means. What does roast to order mean, Candace?
It means that you're small enough that when you get an order, you're roasting the coffee.
Oh, really?
Yeah, roast
Like
to
I'd like a
order,
double shot. Gotta roast it.
It's just, I don't have any employees, just my wife and I do have a guy that works with me here and there. He just started working with me on some events, but for the most part, it's just myself.
You know what else? He's really into mentorship, isn't he?
Right, so he talked to us quite a bit about the fact that, to start out, he had a mentor who taught him to roast. Mm-hmm. And that's really helpful so that you're not kind of in your garage by yourself, not having anyone to bounce ideas off of. So when you talk about starting something like this, having someone that you can talk to, having a mentor is a pretty good way to get started. Mm-hmm. And then, as he's gotten more confident in his roasting, then he started mentoring other starting roasters.
Yeah, I've helped a couple other small guys get going too. The one guy in downstate New York and another guy out in Massachusetts, and that's always kind of fun too. Since someone was so open with me when I got started, I feel like I always need to pay that forward and help out other people get going too,
Do you know where the name Barkeater comes from, Candace?
I have a clue.
It's a translation of the Mohican word Adirondack.
Are you sure about that?
Mm-hmm. The Mohawk used to use it to refer to the Algonquin tribes when they were said to, when there was famine or hunger in the tribe, to eat the inside of the bark of the white pine. Adirondack is also the Mohawk word for porcupine, whose diet mainly consists of bark.
So I'm gonna go with the porcupine.
Porcupine, sure, that's an obvious one. It is their logo.
Yeah.
A friend of mine is a graphic artist, and he designed the logo for me. I told him kind of what I was looking for, and he designed the logo for me and all the font work and everything like that. And he does, still to this day, does all the labels for me in exchange for coffee. And I print the labels up, but he designs them all for me, and he's kind enough to do that for me.
Stephen started this micro roastery, and it's been going pretty well. He's talking about at some point this year even going full time to roasting. And so he chatted with us about not just about how you get started, but about what some of the surprises have been in starting a business like this.
Learning to roast is easy, but learning to get a good, consistent product all the time and, trying to strike that balance of sweetness and keeping those notes in the coffee that you do like, those floral notes, those berry notes. It's a pretty tough walking that line. I definitely used to err on the side of the lighter side when I first started, and now I've kind of gone a little bit sweeter because I find for most people they find that a little more pleasing. So that's probably been the biggest thing, is just trying to strike that balance all the time and getting consistency down on a regular basis all the time. And that's been pretty hard. But I think after 2 years, I'm finally starting to feel like I'm getting it down all the time, and it's moving along well. And I certainly have a lot to learn. I'm always learning.
I would like to see more of Barkeater in the future. I think they're roasting fantastic coffee, really nice person. I want to keep saying people because I thought it was bigger for so long. Really nice person.
Barkeater Coffee Roasters of East Greenbush, New York.
Barkeater.